read some Wikipedia here. Although this is called the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, a large part of this plane is actually made by Boeing, like the wings and the rear half, pretty much. It's a 5th generation fighter plane, but it's considered a 4th generation stealth technology. It was manufactured between 1996 to 2011, and almost 200 of them were made. It had a length of 19 meters, so a wingspan of 13.5, and it could go Mach 1.76. It's obviously an all-weather plane, and it's a supersonic stealth fighter, obviously. It has a super cruise feature, meaning it can actually cruise at over Mach without using afterburners, so pretty good on fuel economy, I suppose. And you can see this rear photo. I mean, these flaps can go crazy, and then the rear vectoring, those flaps can go 20 degrees, so it helps the thing do extreme dives and climbs, apparently. It has 3 internal weapons bays. I don't know where the 3rd one is. I see 2 there. Anywho, let's see. It has a radar reflection of a steel marble. So that's it's it's a radar that looks like a marble, but it's a big plane, obviously. It has a 20mm rotary cannon somewhere on there in the right wing, but it has a door covering it to reduce its radar signature. So I think it's probably this gray box, if I had to guess, but I don't really know for sure. And that's all I really cared to learn about from Wikipedia. So now going into the packaging here, TH17, and 2 photos of what Hasegawa thinks it should look like. So you see it's a medium gray with a very light gray and super dark splotches. I skipped the splotches, but you'll find when you look at this closer, all the decals are grayish. So a lot of them are almost invisible because I chose a slightly darker gray. It's just what I had. Instruction wise, it's nice that it comes with 2 pilots. I put the modern helmet one on here, and I put this girl into a different airplane model. Everything else fit fine. There's just so few parts, and I gotta say the top half and bottom half fit pretty well. So it's a well-designed model kit. So no problems there. They do give you the option to have 4 different liveries. It's basically just a rear verticals or slanted wings that you can change what base is flying out of. Alright, so that's what's going on with that stuff. Let's take a closer look here. So starting on the bottom, I drilled out a hole because I 3D print my own stands, and I kind of want to see them flying even though I have landing gear. There's no parts to actually have it in flight mode. You could theoretically make these work, but there's no part that I saw that would cover up this recess, because literally the doors are molded into the body. Alright, so yeah, these decals here, that shows up, this shows up, but yeah, very faint gray difference. I feel like the gray I chose is even darker, so if you went with a lighter gray, these would almost vanish. I ended up hand painting the lighter gray here, all those lighter grays. As I imagine, I skipped the dark splotches there. I used liquid masking for this, and that's why it has a rough edge. I would suggest it's just hand painting this. If I had to do this again, I would hand paint it with a brush. It'd just be so much faster, and paint gets underneath masking tape very often, and the liquid mask just leaves a rough edge, so yeah, hand painting would be better. But anyhow, this canopy fits pretty fine. There's a peg up front and back. I think there might be a decal for the gauges, but you can't really see it. And then it's nice that these decals go into a recess. That one does not. This star is actually like a yellowish off-white color. It does ask you to paint these markers. Alright. And so one of the decals advantages is there's a number here. It's almost vanishes over on this gray Vallejo paint that I used. And I made a bunch of mistakes. I used some AK Interactive weathering, which this looks okay. It's just I got some on my fingers and I touched it later, and I didn't notice it before I clear coated it. So there was some of this brown here, here, and here. And so I I used a slightly different gray or something, and it just looks weird and splotchy. But I'm not going to rebuild this model kit, so it's just a dirty airplane, I guess, now. Okay, so that's it. Very few components, very quick to put together. All the time is really spent in painting the thing. If you want to skip the paint, yeah, you'll be done in like 30 minutes or less. Alright, yeah, okay, so that's it. I will say I like how the wings are not sticking out very far. Some of the other egg planes by this brand have very long wings, like this intruder here. And also, this literally looks like a smooth egg with no panel lines at all, but the wings do have panel lines. So I do like that the wings, and really everything, the main body, has a bunch of panel details. Right? It doesn't look like a smooth egg anymore. It just looks like a deformed airplane. So this is TH17, so they seem to learn some lessons or make it better compared to this, I think. This brand here, GWH, did a great job with this F-15J. It was easy to put together, came with a pilot. The definition difference between the clear and the painted is really easy to deal with there. The decals were no problems either, so that's great. Freedom model, they make very complex deformed things. A lot of parts, a lot of painting. The decals were kind of crazy. It's a miracle I got that green decal to lay down on both sides because there's this giant bump here. But if you put in the time, I guess it looks pretty nice, this F-18E. Alright, so I guess, well, this thing's an older plane, so let's put these more modern planes. I think this is the replacement for the F-15 in 16. Alright, well, this stand could have been a little taller, obviously. The egg planes are small compared to these two other brands for sure, but it doesn't bother me. I just like the overall appearance of it. I'd rather have a bunch of small models. I think this is a good size. Maybe the other one should be smaller. Alright, so let's try to get a different angle since this is on a flight stand, a very short flight stand. Flying at night, all stealth-like. Yeah, I was too scared to put black paint into the engines there because it would just get onto the sides and I'd have to redo everything, so I left it alone. Alright, so thank you for watching. We'll see you the next time I build an egg plane.